Welcome to day 28 of the Seeker's Guide to Soul Contact. The theme for today is, I will understand why I fear. Now, fear is caused by concern over loss. In the higher mansions of God, there is no such thing as loss, as we understand it here anyway. The only loss that becomes possible in the eternal realm happens when entities decide to separate themselves from spirit by entering into the sleep of illusion in the worlds of form. In this world, there seems to be many things we can lose that can lead to fear. At the top of the list are concerns over the physical body. Humans are concerned about the loss of health, loss of looks, loss of function, loss of memory, and ultimately a loss of life in the body. We're also concerned about resources that sustain the body, such as money, food, housing, clothes, etc. If our access to any of these is threatened, there's generally fear that follows. Consider how many of your fears would disappear if you did not need your physical body, but instead had power to create an invulnerable body by the power of your thought. Imagine such a body that could take on any appearance, could not be harmed, and could move between spirit and matter at will. If you had such a body, you could live under the most tyrannical dictator and have no fear, for he could not harm you. Neither could he put you in prison, where you could walk through the walls. The tyrant would fear you in this situation. You would not need food, transportation, or clothing. Your looks would not fade, for you could project any image you desired. When you think of it, it's quite amazing how many fears are linked to maintaining our bodies. In addition, there are fears that are not directly linked to the body. A big fear generated by false gods is that of an angry god who has power to obliterate your body and soul and to blink you out of existence. Using this fear, they maintain control over their flock. Then the prospect of an eternal fiery hell generates another fear. In life, we have the fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of loss of love or lost opportunities. That is, the unknown opens the door to many fears for possible loss. Imagine how different your life would be if you had nothing to fear because there was no chance you could lose. Around this idea, Pastor Robert Schuller asked this question: what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? For this treatise, we could word it this way: what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not lose or had nothing to fear? The skeptic may say that there is always a possibility of loss that has to be taken under consideration. One may attempt to start a business, but there may be a financial collapse tomorrow that could shatter all your dreams. Then there are other things. One could suffer an accident, ill health, or even get struck by lightning. Such a fear of loss keeps many people from attempting to fulfill their dreams. Other teachers have said that fear is to be overcome with a realization that this world is illusion. Therefore, it does not exist. Thus, our fears are not real and do not exist. Well, that sounds good in theory, but misses the mark in application, as believers in this idea are still concerned about loss in this world. Who among us would not have some concern or fear if he were in danger of losing his job that takes care of the needs of his whole family? Who would not have some fear or concern if he were told he had an incurable disease and others would have to take care of him for years to come? In our reality, the temptation to fear is great and few have mastered it. The big problem with fear is that it creates a barrier between the seeker and the true God within. That contact must be made in a state of peace. The assignment today is to reflect on what you can do to master fear so you can be at peace. Here are a few questions for consideration. 1, do I need to realize that fear is illusion and not real? 2, should I suppress the fear or even deny that it exists? 3, should I confront my fears? 4, should I keep moving toward my goals despite my fears? 5, should I just take my attention away from sources of fear? Good questions for consideration. The affirmation for the day is this: the truth sets me free from fear. See you tomorrow.